Hey friend, Roger Christopherson here again with another first listen review. Finally starting to get a little back into the swing of things with album releases, because there hasn't been a whole lot coming out for the last few weeks. That usually happens right around Christmas season. But see, they're starting to squeak a few out here now, and next week looks like there's a bunch coming out, but there was a few decent ones this week. And one of the ones I decided to grab was from The Babies. It's called Live at the Bottom Line, and it's a live release from a concert they did back in '79 at a club in New York City called The Bottom Line. I guess it's not the whole show, it's only 11 songs from it, but I guess that's enough. That's all they wanted to release, but none of this stuff has ever been released before, and kind of the cool thing about this is that there's 3 songs on here that were never actually recorded on any of their studio albums either, so it's another place you get to actually hear these songs. So anybody not familiar with The Babies, probably most notably, John Waite, who was the lead singer, who actually started as a bass player in this band, by the way, had moved strictly to just lead vocals by this time. This is right after their 3rd album had come out, and right before, I guess they only had one more album after this, if I'm not mistaken, but so they were never one of these bands that made it super huge either. They're right on the verge, but unfortunately never made it really super, super big. But also in this band at this point in time on this recording is Jonathan Cain, who many of you may know went on to join Journey and wrote some of their biggest hits with them. And, he was in the band here at this point. And also Ricky Phillips was on bass on this recording, and he also went on with Jonathan Cain and John Waite to form Bad English, when Journey took their little break, with Neil Sean in the band there. And who was on the drums on that? Was it? Who was on the? Jeez, I can't remember who was on drums on that album. I'm drawing a blank. So anybody remembers who it was? I don't think it was Castronova, was it? Jeez, I'm really drawing a blank. Anyway, anybody who knows who was on drums on the album, throw it down in the comments, because I cannot think of it for the life of me right at the moment. Even though I know who it is, cannot think of it. But that happens. In case of the olds here. But anyway, so I decided to grab this album. I've got all the Baby stuff. I guess there is a reunion album they did here a few years ago. I don't think John Waite sang on that one though. But anyway, they're kind of one of these bands that never really broke big for whatever reason. They're kind of like a power pop type band, I guess, is the easiest way to describe them. They're not super heavy rock, but they weren't super mellow either. They're kind of in the middle, and this release kind of shows it. Obviously, most of the songs are from their first few albums, but like I said, there was those 3 ones thrown in here. They sound, I don't even know how to explain this. On their album, super polished and produced. Here, you can tell nothing's been fixed on this. This is pretty rough. They're a little bit loose in spots, although never falls apart or anything like that, but you can get more of a band feel from this, which I like. I like live albums most of the time anyway, so I'm not one of these people that hates them. A couple of the highlights on here I actually thought was one of the songs that they had never released before. Was called Stick to Your Guns. That one I really liked. There's also another song here called Crystal Ball, which they changed and kind of rewrote it as Anytime for their album Union Jacks. And then they have another song here called Loaded, which they played a lot live, but I guess never made it onto any album ever. But so they start out with Head First, which is obviously off their last album. Gives it a little bit of a rock feel, but there's a lot of these songs on here. They're kind of mid-tempo-y. They never really seem to rock out too much in any of these. Obviously, they had to throw in Every Time I Think of You, which was their big hit at the time, and then they right after that they go into Stick to Your Guns, which is actually kind of a mid-tempo-y type of song too. Like I said, never really rocks out. They do Money, That's What I Want, which is actually probably, the most rockin' song they do on here, I think. But overall, it was a fun listen. It was recorded well. It's not like somebody standing in the audience holding a boombox recording it type thing. It sounds like it's an actual off-the-board recording. It's not a whole lot of information on here, unfortunately. It sounds mixed well. They performed well. John Waite's got a really good voice. I like his voice anyway. It's a very unique style. He sings on pitch. He's not like losing pitch or anything like that. There's no like honking and beeping and snorting on guitars and bass and all that stuff. It's all, well, it just gets a little loose at times, which is fine. I like that. I like the way bands can like, just experiment and change things up a little bit with their live shows, and that's kind of exactly what this does. I really enjoyed, John Waite's solo stuff as I got older. When I was younger and I listened to John Waite when he went solo, I didn't appreciate it as much as I do nowadays. I did like Bad English. One of my friends actually got to go on the road with them too. And got to meet all those guys. Unfortunately, I didn't ever get to meet any of them. But when they did those 2 albums with Bad English, there's a 3rd unreleased album out there too. But they did 2 official releases. I actually really enjoyed those albums as well. I think Jonathan Cain obviously is better suited for Journey. John Waite's voice, I think, is better suited to his original stuff. I think his solo stuff is perfectly suited for the style of music he does. I think it worked out best in the long run for all those guys, although The Babies is a great way to check out where these guys started. You can get a feel for where they were headed at this point in time, and it's always fun going back and listening to this stuff. It's probably not something I'm going to listen to a whole heck of a lot over time, but I'm sure I'll throw it on from time to time. It's always fun to listen to this stuff. I enjoy it quite a bit. Anyway, so that's my little quick take on it. Check out Union Jacks. If you haven't, that's probably a good place to start, like I said. And I don't know, if you enjoy The Babies, check it out. It's worth it. Feel free to, as always, leave your comments down below if there's something I think I left out. As always, feel free to fill in the blanks there. That's what this is all about. And, like, share, and subscribe to keep the music alive. And that's kind of what this is really all about. And, I'll see you guys on the next one. See you.